All right, it's an absolutely frigid morning here in South Louisiana. Last 3 days or so, we've had highs in the low 40s. Very, very cold. Cold water temperatures, about 46 degrees in this area we just pulled up in. I got my good buddy C-Mac here.
Howdy, folks.
You know C-Mac, you've seen him in plenty of previous videos. C-Mac, what do you think about our chances for the day?
Well, you know, it's cold, but we've caught fish in this before. I'm optimistic. I'm an optimist.
I'm an optimist as well. About to make the first cast of the morning. As you can tell, we launched a little bit late to let that sun get up because, man, it was just really, really cold overnight. Good thing with days like today, you can find the fish stacked up. Takes a little bit to find them sometimes, but once you do, you can really load the boat. Hopefully it happens today. We'll see. All right, if you look down this little bayou, you can see how low the water is. Bunch of mud exposed on these banks. This little bayou is pretty deep. It's about 9-10 feet right here. It's gonna flatten out as we get up ahead where this thing meets that lake. Water clarity is just okay. It's really not that bad. It's just kind of a little bit of an off color, but you'd expect that after the conditions we've had the last couple of days. So C-Mac, we running any type of competition today or what? I think we ought to.
Yeah, let's get creative.
All right, I got an idea. It's kind of a spin-off of one of the competitions we've run before. You measure your longest bass, redfish, and speckled trout. Cumulative length wins. Do we want to do the you got to declare it when you catch it?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, you got to declare it when you catch it. That's the one you're going to weigh.
What's the penalty here? What's the prize, Todd?
What's the prize? Let's if you win, I know you love the Echo 1.75. If you win, I'll give you one Echo 1.75. And if I win,
if you win, I'll give you a bag of my homemade Carnarvon Crawl hand-poured soft plastic.
Perfect. All right, it's a deal. Now hopefully we both don't skunk.
Skunk? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I think we'll find some fish.
Wear them out? Maybe not.
It'll take a little effort, but I think we'll find some fish. I do know this. I need to slow down because I'm fishing too fast. That tide is screaming out of here. C-Mac and I crossed a very, very shallow lake getting in here, and this water's draining by the second. So we're not going to give this too long. If we don't find any fish, we're out of here. Of course, the bad news is we might find some fish and stay in here too long. So I forgot to mention, I'm throwing a green hornet matrix shad on a 1/4 ounce death grip jig head. If you've seen my recent videos, you know my son Joel has been absolutely blistering the fish on this combination. Now he throws it on 12-pound mainline fluoro, and I throw it on braid. For whatever reason, he's just had a hot stick lately. I think that fluoro has a lot to do with it. But I haven't thrown the green hornet just because I'm trying to throw other baits just to see what else they'll hit. He's not on the boat with us today, so I figure it's okay for me to throw it. This is good green hornet water. C-Mac, what are you throwing?
I'm throwing a 1/4 ounce death grip with a Zoom June Bug speed worm on it.
All right. You got a kind of Texas rig or exposed hook?
Exposed.
Okay.
Almost like a shaky head.
Right. Those bass are shivering. But you know, this is one of those days we could definitely find the reds stacked up somewhere. Just be stupid. Those reds will definitely bite in this temperature water.
This episode of Marshman Masson is brought to you by Puglia Sporting Goods.
All right, we're on to stop number 2. Stop number 1 delivered 1 bite. And that was it. Water temp in here is 44.2 degrees. That's really cold for South Louisiana. I don't know that I've ever caught fish in water that cold. I'm sure I probably have, but that's chilly. Water's pretty good. I mean, it's definitely quite fishable. We should be able to catch some fish if we can find any that are active. All right, this is stop number 3. Man, we have just a beautiful day. I mean, it's obviously chilly, but it's really low wind. not no wind. I'm gonna say 3 knots, something like that. So it's blowing a little bit, but gorgeous day. We just have to wait until this water warms up a little bit. Kind of biding our time a little bit, hoping to get a bite here and a bite there. Certainly it's possible we could run across a school of reds, but we haven't found them yet.
I think he wants me to sponsor him.
Oh, there's a fish. What is that? I think it's a red, C-Mac. He thumped it. Oh, it's a foul hook bass. It's actually not a bad fish. Right? I mean, you always wonder. Like, I felt him thump it, right?
Yeah.
Did he thump it and spit it? Oh, dude, he was barely hooked. Whew, that fish is icy cold. Well, C-Mac, I'm gonna measure him.
Yeah, I was about to say, do I get to be the arbiter of that?
All right, let's see. He is, I guess we
You
need.
for sure caught him.
He is 13 on the nose.
Sort of inauspiciously, but
Yep,
whatever.
but I'll take him.
First fish of the day. We're back here in the marsh, water coming off of that pond. Yeah, it's almost a full degree colder here than it was.
Well, I think once that sun gets up and heats up the pond, but you figure that shallow pond got cold in the night. We're gonna catch fish today. I feel confident. We just need the water to warm up. Will it warm enough before the tide quits falling? That's the question. There's a fish. All right, there we go.
All right. You thumped it?
No, he didn't thump it. He was just there. Man, C-Mac and I have done the tour. I mean, we've been everywhere looking for fish. They've been tough to come by. This water's 45 degrees, not warming up. But we're just gonna keep picking away, hoping that sun warms the water and gets these fish active. At least I hooked that one in the mouth. Really? Getting a few bites, that's good. All you can ask for in a day like today. Oh, you ah! Shoot.
Maybe we found a little.
A little something, something. Oh, you God damn you. What's the water temp?
47.5.
There we go. Finally, these ponds are warming up.
Damn croaker.
You got a hit? Get him, C-Mac. Redfish? I think it's no, it's a nice bass. I'm guess you're measuring that one.
Oh yeah.
Good fish, C-Mac.
I can land him.
Ooh, real good fish. Nice. Ooh, and he came off in the boat.
Barely.
What's that, a cock of the walk, H&H Cocko?
Cock of the walk, H&H Cockahoe and a 1/4 ounce.
It's a good color.
Death grip.
Good color.
Yep. He actually thumped it, Todd.
So it's gotten late enough in the day that these ponds are warming up. The water coming out of this one's now 47.5 degrees. Not exactly warm, but compared to what we've been fishing all day, it's warmer. And C-Mac's gonna measure that fish, and I'm guessing he's about 15, 16 inches. That will propel him into the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call him 15 and a quarter. 15 and a quarter. So it's 15 and a quarter to, oh, what was mine, 12, I think?
13.
13, there we go.
I'm gonna let him swim.
Yeah, let him go. There you go. Put him back in that icy cold water. He's probably like, dude, keep me up here. It's warmer.
You gotta say it like Christopher Walken. in the more cowbell video. I'm the cock of the walk, baby. I'm just like everybody else, baby. I put my pants on one leg at a time. The only difference is, once mine are on, I make gold records. Oh, you turd.
Dumps you right next to the boat, huh?
Right there. Pulled it right out of his mouth.
There we go. There we go.
What you got?
Dude, is that a freaking crab?
It's a crab.
It's a crab.
Woo!
Oh, goodness.
That's a tiny crab.
That's a tiny crab. A little female. Go ahead, dude. Oh, man. You're going to make me actually get this hook out of your claw, huh? Dude, this crab's icy cold. Oh, damn it. 3 in a row. That was a good fish, dude. The problem is I'm so much dead stick in this that when I go to hop it, there's just a fit, like I don't get a good hook set, you know? But that's the key to getting these bites, at least a few I've gotten. That was a good fish. I almost thought it was a red for a minute, but it was a bass. What's the temp?
48.1.
Nice. Not a coincidence, that's where we're catching the fish. All right, so I'm making a switch to this H&H curl tail smoke with red glitter grub. Really like this bait. It's got kind of a low profile, but that tail is always moving in the water. I like it in these cold water conditions. Just let that bait sit on the bottom and let that tail move. Caught a lot of fish on this. See if it works today.
This episode of Marshman Mass On is brought to you by H&H Lure Company and by Versamax Corks and by Cito New Orleans and by Plaquemines Parish and by Delta Marina.
I think this is a fish. He's not big though. It's definitely a fish. Oh, it's not a bad bass. All right, C-Mac, I got one in the boat. Yay for me.
So after missing 6 or 7
All right.
between the two of us.
Look at that whisker. By a whisker. He had it deep though. That's good. There he is.
Nice fish. There you go. That's a healthy one.
Yeah, not a bad fish. I gotta tell you, it's been a grind today, that's for sure. But C-Mac and I have been talking about the fact that these fish were gonna turn on when this water warmed up. And sure enough, that's happening. It's not crazy yet, that's for sure. Still having to earn them, but a lot more exciting than it was earlier. He was dead in the middle of the bayou. Went to twitch and he was there. These fish are starting to turn on, C-Mac. Either they're turning on or it's the bait change. Got more of these if you want one. Look at that though, look. That one I felt. I probably felt him spit it. There he is. Nice bass, nice bass. I measured my fish too early, C-Mac. It was a good fish. Yeah, I don't know if he's bigger than another one or not. Maybe not. Just a big old fatty. Just a big fatty. Not as big as I thought, but still fun to catch. On the H&H curl tail Smoke red glitter. I threw in his mouth. Went to make the first twitch, he was already on there. It's one of those days you gotta set the hook on everything. You think possibly maybe it might have been a bite, you better set the hook. All right, C-Mac, you know, fishing here in South Louisiana is very different than it was just a couple of decades ago, particularly in certain areas. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, is it?
But Todd, it's not a bad thing that this fishery has changed. There's no denying that this marsh fishes differently than it did 15, 20 years ago, especially after Hurricane Katrina. It changed substantially. And then as we've had very, very wet cycles and efforts to block saltwater coming up into this estuary, you've seen a change. But it's not a bad thing, as we're seeing today. Today's a day we wouldn't dream of catching speckled trout. Water temperature just too cold, too much bluebird sky. These cold fronts have been very bitter the last couple of weeks, you know, first couple of weeks here of the year. But we're out here catching bass. And, you know, having the bass in this marsh has given folks an opportunity to still come out here and still have a productive day, even when other fish aren't necessarily biting as well. And I think what we're going to see over the course of the next 10 to 15 years in Louisiana are a lot of areas that are going to become more fresh, whether it's because of diversion projects that introduce fresh water in sediment to try to rebuild the marsh and rebuild the habitat, or it's because the Mississippi River continues to be high, or because there's going to be marsh creation projects that limit saltwater intrusion. And I think as sportsmen, what we're going to have to do in order to continue to be successful is learn how to adapt. Whether it's because of more fresh water or changes in salinity, changes in climate, changes in temperature, changes in habitat, we're always having to adapt to where the fish are going to be and what we're fishing for them with and the kind of fish that we're catching. The one thing I'll tell you about fishing all of the places that I've fished in Louisiana my whole life is that none of them are the same as they were 5 or 10 years ago. It's learning how to adapt to that that's going to mean success in the future. I think the other thing is we have to start counting on our state leadership, on our legislators, on our Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, on the Coastal Protection Restoration Authority to help expedite those changes and foster those changes. We're seeing a lot of crawfish be caught in areas where they weren't before. We're seeing increases in blue crab harvest in some places, decreases in others. We're seeing a change in the makeup, sometimes in the forage base, a lot more white shrimp in the system. What are we doing as a state to develop processing those species and getting them to market and getting it to where our fishermen can continue to be successful? What are we doing to encourage people to come here and bass fish? What are we doing to encourage people and educate people about the changes that are happening in the system? Those need to be priorities for this state as we move forward into the changes that we're seeing in this estuary.
All right, another very successful day, particularly for C-Mac, who won another competition.
Got a good video out.
He caught a 15¼ inch bass. I caught a 13-inch bass. So mine was smaller. Neither one of us caught a keeper red. He caught a throwback red, but man, the redfish's been tough.
As Todd can attest, 2 inches makes a difference.
Indeed it does. So I gotta pay my debt and give C-Mac a Echo 1.75, and it actually happens to be in blueberry perch, which I think is your favorite color, isn't it?
My favorite color. Caught a 6-pound bass on this bait one day. Thank you, Todd.
Congratulations, C-Mac. You earned it.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Oh, here comes the mailman. I gotta move. All right, well, I lost the challenge, but it was a very fun day fishing. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.